Police have identified the suspect as 59-year-old Rex Heuermann. Although there were nearly a dozen victims in the infamous Gilgo Beach murders, Heuermann is only being charged in 3 of them at the present moment.
We have team coverage on this major development. Lizette Nunez is in Massapequa with reaction from the suspect's neighbors. But first, we go to Jodi Goldberg, who's live outside the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office in Yaphank. Jodi, what can you tell us?
Stephen, Natasha, if I had to use a word, I'd say it's surreal. When Suffolk County District Attorney Raymond Tierney was addressing the judge directly during the arraignment, he said the investigation had to stop early after it became apparent that Heuermann was still looking at photos of victims and their families, and he was in fact a danger to the community. Police say he's the man behind the more than decade-long Gilgo Beach serial killer mystery. Rex Heuermann stayed silent as he walked out of Suffolk County's 7th precinct to face a judge on Friday afternoon.
Rex Heuermann is a demon that walks among us, a predator that ruined families.
Police say the 59-year-old architect was arrested on Thursday night in Midtown Manhattan as he was leaving work. And it was clear clues gathered by investigators, including burner phones and extensive cell phone evidence, along with original DNA found on the victims that matched his wife and the pizza crust he threw out in Manhattan that ultimately led to his arrest.
One of the things that we did is we followed him because we wanted to get an abandonment sample of his DNA, which we were able to do. We also got DNA samples, abandonment samples from his family.
For years, investigators have looked into whether the grisly murders had been committed by one person or multiple killers. According to police, Heuermann is responsible for the deaths of Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. Young women discovered bound and wrapped in burlap sacks along Ocean Parkway near Gilgo Beach. He's also the prime suspect in the murder of Maureen Brainard Barnes. At least 10 victims' remains were discovered along that same stretch after sex worker Shannon Gilbert disappeared back in 2010. It was a Chevy Avalanche that led investigators to zero in on Heuermann. A witness reported that one of the victims who went missing was last seen in the same car believed to have been driven by her killer. Police say 7 phones traced to where he lived and worked were allegedly used to taunt family members of the victims. His browser history included sadistic material as well as more than 200 searches relating to the unsolved murders.
We also went back and looked at his cell site records, and we compared his personal cell site records with that of the 4 target phones, and we saw that there was areas of commonality.
Heuermann pleaded not guilty. His attorney weighed in on today's developments.
I did hear the district attorney outline his case. I will say to you folks that it's extremely circumstantial in nature.
And police say the Brainard Barnes investigation is continuing and is expected to wrap up soon. As for Heuermann, he's being held without bail and is due back in court on August 1st. That's the latest here in Yaphank, Long Island. Jodi Goldberg, Fox 5 News.